Hey, good morning. It's Charles Folkard, May 30th, last day of May 2017. I welcome all of you. Thank you for watching. And I want to thank you for subscribing and supporting this channel. Got up early this morning before 5. I usually wake up around that time and get up. There's a scripture verse that always helps me to get up. There's the slothful layeth on his bed like a door on a hinge, back and forth, and that always comes to mind, and it gets me up in the morning. It's a very good, uh, it's a very good motivating verse to get me out of bed. Has been all my life, and this morning I thought, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go for a walk before I do anything. I put my clothes on, of course, but I walked up the road here to get this shot, and it looks like a normal morning. Those are the Rocky Mountains there in the outline, and the lake is flat. There's no wind blowing, and I said good morning to the Lord, and we had a little chat, and I came back home, made myself a cup of coffee, and then I saw this. I saw that they were spraying. So I grabbed my camera again and I went back out and I took some more photos, and this is what I saw. This is again over the Rocky Mountains. This plane here, look at the stretches all the way from there and all the way to there, and he's headed east, almost due east, and I see that a lot. Here's another shot I took a little bit later, and you can see the sun's beginning to come up, and we have an obvious chemtrail that wasn't there 15 minutes earlier. There's another shot. That's a chemtrail, folks. Geoengineering over the Rocky Mountains. More. There it is again. I don't know if those are chemtrails, and I didn't see them being formed, but this is an obvious geoengineering trail there, folks. That's not a contrail for you sheeple. And came back home, and this is right outside of my house. And then I went back out later because I saw another one. One, and all these are probably chemtrails too, done early in the morning, and I didn't see it. Here's two more. So the sheeple get up and look out there. They just see that as being a normal sky in Montana over the Rocky Mountains. Now, all those nanoparticles of aluminum are going to settle right down in the Rocky Mountains. And we get our water supply from those mountains. And those mountains feed or supply water all the way downstream, folks. We're being poisoned. We're being poisoned. And nobody seems to care. Mr. Tester told me those were just contrails. Charles, you can go back to sleep. I contacted the local cuck, calls himself a journalist, has a degree in photography. I don't think he's used his camera in 100 years. Why isn't he taking photos like this and reporting it in the Humboldt Beacon? There was a magazine called the Humboldt Beacon back in Humboldt County. This is the Flathead Beacon. They're no more a beacon than, well, I won't go there. But folks, it's really disappointing to get up in a beautiful place like northwest Montana, go for a walk, expecting to see God's beautiful nature. The birds were singing. I picked myself a bunch of flowers. I picked myself this plant. I think it's lilac. I'm not positive. I'm going to have to check it out. Or lavender. It's one or the other, and it grows here. They're planted all over. And I was walking early this morning outside, and I could smell that. And I could hear the birds chirping, and they were on the wires, and I could watch them, and osprey flew by. the sun was going to come up, come our way over the flat earth, over the top of the Rockies, and I was going to observe the sunrise this morning, and instead I get chemtrails. Wonderful world we live in, isn't it? Reminds me of a couple verses. One is in John. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. You know, in the world we shall have tribulation. And I also thought of this verse here in Ecclesiastes, one of the wisest men to ever live. And I gave my heart to know wisdom, and to know madness and folly. I perceived that this also is vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief. And he that increases knowledge increases sorrow. And I think this must have been where they got that saying, that phrase, ignorance is bliss. So, as we increase our knowledge, we're going to increase our sorrow. And that reminds me of this comment that was left on the channel. Let's go have a look at that, shall we? This comment posted, as you can see, 13 hours ago. And I took out, I won't read that. You can come back and read it if you like. But I took out one thing out of there. And that is, he called me a conspiracy theorist and told me he doesn't want to hear anything about God, conspiracies, or the New World Order, because he doesn't believe in any of them, and made me promise I'd never talk to him about any of those three subjects again. And my response would be here, and I said from this point on I'd be cordial, polite, and as if nothing was wrong. But I would extend those three subjects to every other important subject as well. I'd keep all conversations to small talk regarding subjects of no importance, only trivia. The weather, how nice spring is this year, the chirping of the birds, etc. You'll know what to say. Keep it trivia, nothing important. But whatever you do, don't bring up an important subject again. And if he does, and he will, you change the subject. Have fun. Let us know how that approach works. And then also I want to thank this fellow here, Crew 666666666 on to infinity. He says that Ruby Ridge and Waco were false flags, and I got to thinking about that. You know what? I didn't even think about it. Here I am, you know, believe in all these hoaxes for good reason, and it's not just a belief. It's actually I've examined them and looked at them closely, and yeah, this was before the internet, where we could check things up, and I never went back and checked. So yeah, so Ruby Ridge, Waco, and maybe the Murray Building, but that one we actually saw the effects of the explosion. It blew off the concrete and just left the rebar. And being a contractor, I know that a fertilizer bomb in the back of the van is not going to do that. But anyway, I wanted to thank you for that. I made me change what I think on that subject. And here's another guy, this Major Mazeroth. He's insistent that Jesus was the king of the Jews, and he refers to Pilate. And you know, no matter how many times you bring him to the original Greek, which just reinforces what I said on my last couple of videos. Some people are going to believe whatever they want to believe, no matter what. The evidence isn't going to matter to them. You can show them the chemtrails. You can show them they're admitted that they're spraying us, and that there's an article at Harvard University, etc., 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 and to them, those are still contrails. What are you going to do? Okay? So you just let them go on in their folly. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. You have to protect yourself from the ignorance that's out there, and there's a lot of it, isn't there? So I want to thank you for watching. Boy, does that smell good. Make it a point to go out and smell the coffee. Smell the flowers. And inhale deeply the contrails over your heads. Thank you much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for supporting this channel. See you.
What I hate is most folks don't seem to care at all. What I hate is looking up and seeing chemtrails in a clear blue sky today.